welcome back to another speed build. My name's Jess, and today I'm building a new crest on a 20 by 15 lot, and today's build is a small Victorian home that is definitely heavily inspired by spooky season coming up since October is almost here. So I tried to use a lot of different colors and items that really give you the sense that it's fall and Halloween in The Sims. So you can see I'm starting out by using the seasons windows, and they are so perfect for this build. I really love the white trim with the black detail. I think it just worked so perfectly for this little house that I'm working on. And in the front, I wanted to add kind of that traditional wrought iron fence. But in the game, most of the ones we have are pretty ornate and heavily detailed. But this piece from Debug from Vampires is so perfect, and definitely would recommend it if you're doing a similar build. If you want to go for something that's a little bit more sleek looking, because on the interior of this build, I definitely leaned a little bit more modern. So I wanted the exterior to still kind of have something that looked sleek and wasn't quite as ornate as the traditional fence you might see in front of a house like this. So of course I had to add in a few maple trees to really get in those colors of fall. And now we're working on the interior, or just I had to add a few items outside to bring in those fall vibes. And I really am happy because seasons came in very handy, and I don't really use those objects very often. So it's just fun to be able to decorate up a house a little bit. But you can see I'm working on the entryway and just added in a few items. And actually, this is a paranormal house, and this is a seance room. I just recently did a psychic house build where I used the seance table, and I'm just obsessed with paranormal stuff right now. So I had to do another build. But definitely this is more of, I saw it as like an apothecary shop. So you'll see in the back, I actually do create a little shop itself. So you definitely could use this as a retail store if you would want to change it around a little bit. But you can see I'm adding in a few items that I think really work to bring in that like sort of spooky and vibey feel that I wanted for the seance room. But this is the little apothecary shop in the back, and I went ahead and used this shelf from Snowy Escape to kind of house the different herbal remedies that I figured would be sold here, and definitely use the tool mod a lot to make this happen. This is actually something I did in a build a while ago. I actually built the cottage from Kiki's Delivery Service, if you've ever seen that movie, and I did this in that build, and I just think this cabinet works so well as kind of an apothecary style cabinet. And yeah, I'm just so happy with how this little area turned out, but of course I wanted to add in a few more items. So I used these baskets from Jungle Adventure, and later they're going to house some dried flowers, or at least in my mind, they're dried flowers. And I really wanted to make this look like it's a shop that sells a lot of homemade items. So I used more of the kind of fabricated items that you can create in The Sims. So I used the different clay sculptures that your Sims can create, as well as a bunch of candles. And I really love how the candles look because they just bring in all the colors I was wanting to use. So it's probably one of my favorite parts of this little shop. I just think they look really, really cute. And you can see I'm adding in the flowers there and ending off with a snapdragon. So I'm really happy with how this little shop turned out, and definitely think this build could be really versatile if that is what you want to do. And there isn't a lot of backyard space, but I did make sure to add room for a deck and just did a little seating area with a barbecue. And in my mind, I was like, maybe the person who lived here would host people with different barbecues in their shop, and that's also, of course, also where you brew herbal remedies. So anyways, I just thought that would work out really nicely. And we're actually moving on to the upper apartment area of this build. And I ended up actually making this a mid-century style apartment. which wasn't my original intention, but just when I ended up looking at swatches that were the color I was going for, which of course was orange and green, all the items just kind of worked together, and I was really surprised by that. But I had a lot of fun doing this part of the build because this is definitely closer to my personal style. So I just got to pick a bunch of objects that I really like and use them in swatches that I don't normally use. So yeah, I just had a lot of fun with that. And this little area, I used the 2 different wardrobes, but I kind of pictured it being like a pantry. And of course, I wanted to have a little bit of a desk area for this build. So just using that little area next to the stairs was perfect. And I'm just really happy with how that living space turned out. And just quickly making a little bathroom that's nice and cozy. And I just really loved that little bathroom, all the little areas I really enjoyed. But we're actually coming to the end of the build, so I want to thank you so much for watching and supporting my little channel here on YouTube. It means so much to me. I hope you have a great day. Bye.